Good morning. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with people in our lives, in our environment, in the type of career that we can attract, and the things that we are capable of manifesting. And if we want to see changes, we need to make changes in ourselves first. So thank you for joining. We're going to start with Divine Masculine today because he had the most cards showing and he is overthinking so much, but we'll allow it because he's nervous. All right, top of the deck, forefront of his mind, the thing that he's thinking about a lot right now at the moment is the Star card in reverse. So the energy of the star. The star upright is a energy about healing, hope, making wishes. It's about allowing your dreams, the things that are unconscious, to come in to pour into the material. And there's a divine feminine energy associated with this card. It's about the cosmos. And when we're seeing it in its reverse, we can see it having a couple of different potential meanings. It can be about the star finally coming down, touching upon the earth, your wish coming true. It can be about keeping something hidden, not revealing it, not illuminating it. Um, it can be about holding on to hope, desperately trying to hold on to hope for the thing it is that you desire. And so I think we're getting a couple of those meanings from this today. We're getting a little bit of the desperately holding on to a hope feeling that things will go the way that divine masculine would like them to go. Um, but we're also getting this awareness that he's not able to reveal divine feminine. He's still keeping her hidden. He's not showing her to others. He's not even revealing the divine feminine aspect of himself, the emotions, the feelings, the sensitivities, those things. He's still not revealing that to others. And so because of that, he's also not revealing this specific iteration of the divine feminine. He's keeping his feelings towards this feminine hidden. He's keeping the feminine herself hidden from those in his life. And this is bothering him. It's really bothering him. And the niggling thing in the back of his mind is the Five of Cups. This is a pretty distressed looking divine masculine. There's sadness here. He feels like he's breaking his own heart and divine feminines when he keeps her hidden like this. It's very difficult for him not to be focused on these cups that have been spilled. And in this case, between the two of them, it's difficult for him not to think about how he's done this to divine feminine, which has been cruel and unusual punishment, not only for this specific iteration, but also for himself. Um, it's kind of warm. So we see him really trying to be optimistic, right? To see the star card in reverse, which is desperately holding on to hope kind of a feeling, hoping that your wish is coming true, and to the Five of Cups together, there, which is about optimism, trying to remain optimistic. I do see him really trying to remain hopeful that the length of time he has taken to reveal this divine feminine, to reveal these emotions, feelings that he has for her, he's hoping that it's not going to have worked against him. The first thing on his mind right now is the Three of Swords. So there's a couple different things here. This is always about the painful truths that we discover about ourselves that really hurt. And it's about receiving wounds that match the wounds that were already there from birth, kind of, and realizing through this very negative experience of heartbreak what your wounds were. And we have him processing this pain. So there's a certain amount of, he does want to reveal this divine feminine, but he has to take the time to process this pain that he feels in regards to there could have been third party energy here, karmic, family, career, rigid belief system, etc., that came between him and his divine feminine. There's like this too, and he's trying to heal the wounds that he's received from this happening to him, from this loss he's experienced in those 3 cups that have spilled. It's the first thing on his mind. He keeps thinking about it. He's also worried and concerned. He doesn't want to cause any heartbreak. The next thing, this poor guy, the devil. So we've got heartbreak and then the devil. If it weren't for the rest of the spread, I would freak out, but at least my ego would. But he's just thinking about his ego. I think his ego has been wounded. Like something has happened that has caused him to experience kind of a wounded ego. And honestly, it could be divine feminine being like, look, bro, you're not the only fish in the sea, and like you're great and everything, but I don't really deserve to be treated this way. I don't appreciate it, and I don't want to continue to be treated that way. So if you're going to continue in this devil energy, third party blockage, like obsessive behaviors, codependencies, etc., I'm out. Like you got to take care of that, or like I'm out. So divine masculine has worked on this. He's really worked on taking care of this, but the next thing up in his mind is it's not over with the world card in reverse. So he's not fully completed these cycles regarding his healing and his codependencies. And these things have been what has been holding him back. Having these deep wounds from childhood, which he kept repeating in these third-party relationships that he was engaging in, being codependent, having issues with his ego, and just kind of like giving into his fears, because the devil is also about fear. Honestly, really being so scared of having this wounded heart again, having a third party, being cheated on. Also, divine masculine is really terrified of being cheated on himself. Like that's an experience he's had, and he doesn't want it. And the world card is coming up because we do feel the completion of this cycle is imminent, but it's not over yet for divine masculine. He's still working on it. It's why he hasn't revealed divine feminine. He's doing that healing work. He's actually he's been pretty focused on his sadness, which is kind of what breaks his own heart, right? His obsessive loop thinking about what he's done and how he's hurt everyone and how he's been hurt and how da. And so this is just not over for him. He's just really still obsessing over it. But he's seeing this very clearly about himself, because we have a Knight of Swords energy, which is an ability to cut through the bullshit, which in this case is this 3 of Swords. So cutting through the bullshit of third-party energy, cutting through the bullshit of having to suffer under the control and manipulation of your own ego's fears and anxieties. He's really seeing clearly how that has really distorted him and created his own heartbreak. And he really wants to rush in with this truth and explain this to divine feminine and just be like, listen, there could have also been problems with addiction too. I had deep wounds that I used addiction to deal with. I'm still dealing with it also, babe. Like I haven't really worked it out. So I don't know if you want me like this, because I still do this. I still do it. But he wants to speak to the specific iteration of his divine feminine, this Queen of Pentacles, who he sees as abundant and fertile and creative and wise, protective and nurturing. And he wants to be able to tell her these truths he's learned about himself. But he is very afraid of his own codependency on this divine feminine. He's afraid of it, how much he needs her, because he senses that she doesn't really need him entirely. She wants him, sure, but what if she doesn't need him? That's where he starts to worry and get obsessed and think about this third party energy. Yeah, she wants me. She thinks I'm great. But let's say we're together for a year and then she finds out the truth about me, which is that, really, I'm just like shitty because my ego's convincing me that I'm, not a good person. She's going to find that out and she's going to leave me. So he's really dealing with those fears and worries and issues of codependence on this specific divine feminine. This is what's holding him up. And then we're getting overthinking, clarifying what is not over. This is also, divine feminine is the world, right? It's his world. And he's trying to release that too, because the devil energy convinces you that you have to have this specific thing. And then when you have something and you don't, and when you want something and you don't have it, you're constantly in a state of wanting, state of loss. So he's also trying to let go of the divine feminine entirely as being the center of his world, because he's realizing that's really been a blockage for him. The other thing that's really problematic is he doesn't want to introduce divine feminine to his world. This is why she's hidden. He's like, I love you and I want you in my life, but this is my world. It's filled with this kind of stuff. Broken hearts, third parties, manipulation, drugs, sex, unhealthy relationships, a lot of anxiety and fear here for him in his world. And he's about to bring divine feminine into it. And he's questioning himself. He's like, why am I bringing her into this mess that I have created? Queen of Swords is in reverse, clarifying the world in reverse. He's really deeply hoping that when he approaches the specific iteration, that she can stay in the light traits of the Queen of Swords and not be defensive, cutting, not block him, not keep him from being able to honestly worship her. He just wants to be able to have her as the center of his world. But he wants his world to be safe and not full of these really potentially dangerous elements. And he feels if he doesn't complete this cycle soon, if he doesn't finish this healing in regards to this addiction and devil energy, divine feminine is going to be pissed. And she's just really not going to be that interested. She's going to be cold. She's going to be icy. That's what he's overthinking and overfeeling. If I don't complete this soon, she's going to leave me. I need to unblock. Here's that 5 of Wands that keeps plaguing the readings. I need to unblock. Also, this shadow traits within himself, cold, icy defensiveness, right? He needs to stop engaging in his own Queen of Swords behavior, being sensitive and defensive and protecting his heart, conquering his emotions instead of really fully immersing himself in them, kind of having no strategy, pretending you have one, but really not having one. He's got to release his own blockages in regards to that Queen of Swords energy. His fears about divine feminine turning into the type of energy he dealt with in the past. That's another thing. This could represent a divine feminine that he dealt with before. And he's feeling like, I've already experienced codependency and heartbreak. I don't want this Queen of Pentacles, who was so beautiful to me and so nurturing and so loving. I don't want her to turn into the kind of shrew that I have been having to experience from past relationships. He's afraid that if he brings her into his world, this could happen. So he's trying to unblock this fear because he's ready to give this offer. Here's the Ace of Pentacles again. We cannot get rid of this ace because he's definitely considering offering it. That's why his headspace is all in a tizzy, because he's like, I'm still in devil energy. I don't know if she wants this kind of noise, but he wants to give it to her. Top of the deck for the heart space, King of Cups, upright. So, we know all about this king. He's constantly coming out in our readings. as this kind, compassionate, caring, loving, sensitive, just, self-righteous, nurturing king. He's a good one. And in this image from the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, rather, he has two cups where normally the King of Cups only has one, but he has one which is an idea and one which is an actual cup. And I'm really drawn to that image. So he has this idea of what he wants to give to Divine Feminine, this cup of love, and then he has the actual one that he can give to Divine Feminine. And this is why he remains silent, because the shadow trait of the King of Cups is silence. He protects Divine Feminine from this real cup, instead reflecting this cup of intention. He shows her this, but he doesn't pour this out to her. She only gets this, his intentions to her, and she doesn't. And he doesn't actually have actions, because he has to maintain the stoicism in order not to cause her to panic or anyone around him to panic. He doesn't want to disturb the waters. He wants to keep the waters calm. And so he's just kind of giving her this reflection of his love, but it's not the true physical manifestation of the cup. The niggling feeling in his heart space is the moon, which is, it's the dream space, it's the subconscious, it's what is hidden, it's uncertainty, it's secrecy, it's mystery. There's an element here in these readings right now, as we're closing in on this union, that we're just really not meant to know a whole lot of detail about what is going to unfold. It is one thing to look at our thoughts and feelings in this current time. It is another thing to try to divine when things are going to happen. And that's the warning that comes with this in his heart space. You don't know what's going to happen. Don't try to predict it. Just go with the flow. Understand that the subconscious is very powerful in the machinations that are unfolding around me, right? So I need to go within, and be able to truly understand that heartbreak and that devil energy, and understand how it influences my actions and keeps me silent. So he's doing deep inner exploration, just like Divine Feminine has been doing. He's also still hidden. His heart space is still feeling like there needs to be secrecy, because to have the King of Cups who is silent and the moon, which is about what is hidden, to me suggests that he still feels he can't reveal, right, his feelings or this Divine Feminine to the world, which is the feeling of it not being over, because he has to do that in order to give her this offer. So the first thing in his heart space, clarifying this Three of Swords, is beautiful. It's the Ace of Cups. So we see Divine Masculine soothing and healing his heartache with self-love. So he really understands this process. And in fact, that cup, which is here, that's just the idea, this is the one that is filled up by the divine. And then it allows him to have a real cup to give to someone else. So this cup is filled, and he is reflecting it to Divine Feminine in the 5D energy, right? In the dream space, in that escape that they have together, in the moon energy. But he's healing those wounds in his heart space with self-love. He's not allowing the sadness to overwhelm him. He's processing it. He's going through his grief. He's releasing it. He's trying to remain optimistic. The devil energy, he is using his King of Swords energy to fight, which is his intellect, his stoicism, his ability to strategize, to command armies, to be very powerful and defensive and really protective. It is this devil energy that he remains silent about as well. This is what keeps him cold and aloof. While he's working on this, he doesn't have a lot to give to you, right? He's filling up that cup. He has a lot of wounds he's healing. So he's keeping this process to himself, but he is working on it. A King of Swords is a proactive king, and he's has a lot of integrity. So he's using his own personal integrity to counter that devil energy and that addiction. It's also the reason why he wants to reveal that truth with that sword. He wants to be able to tell Divine Feminine, listen, I love you. I want to be with you. But I'm struggling with this addiction energy, and it's not going away right at the minute. And like, I want to be whole for you. He wants to tell her the truth, that he still has to do this 9 of Wands healing, that his healing is really not over, and that he really knows this himself. He feels it and he knows it. The cycle isn't complete. He still has to be on the offensive against this devil energy, which is coming at him in the form of third party energy in some circumstances, and then also being reflected in probably addictive behaviors and numbing behaviors to try to handle these outside energies. So he's like, there's still heartbreak. There's still devil energy. It's not over. My healing isn't done, but I am loving myself. I am in my integrity right now. He wants her to be proud of him. He does feel actually proud of himself. And this Knight of Swords, this is the truth. This is what he has to be honest about with himself. I can't reciprocate, Divine Feminine. I'm not healed enough to fully reciprocate with you. That's how I've been feeling. That's what I've been thinking, that you're not going to want this version of me, that you need something that's more equivalent to you. You need somebody who's going to be able to be more generous and give you more than I've been able to give you, because I've been only just figuring out how to give this to myself. So he wants to be really honest with her and say, these are the reasons I couldn't reciprocate. This is why going forward, I still have work to do. And that 6 of Pentacles in reverse is followed by the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So we see a progression. He is working towards the culmination, right, to get to his 10 of Pentacles. He is no longer having to do so much nurturing of all the weeds that are growing. He's not constantly having to, like, get rid of the negativity in regards to his beliefs about being able to be with Divine Feminine. He is dealing with his own impatience with himself for not having reciprocated appropriately with her for so long. And he's also frustrated at having to wait for the fruits of this labor, for this clearing that has had to take place. He has to wait for it. He has had to wait for this justice to be done. And it's in reverse. So it's still not been done. There is still some kind of a legal entanglement that is not over, right? And he just has to isolate during this time that this is being processed. He has to heal these wounds of addiction and heartbreak, and continue to protect Divine Feminine from these secrets, from these hidden things that he has a lot of fears could deeply wound her. He doesn't want her to be wounded by his devil energy, right? So this offer is being blocked by this lack of justice in the situation, still having this karma to work out. But there is an unblocking that he's doing. He's working on it. He's working on this to be able to do justice to this union. All right, Divine Feminine, let's see where you are at. Also overthinking. Divine Feminine, top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of the mind. Girl, Lovers in reverse. You are trying so desperately not to think constantly about your relationship. this is plaguing you. You're like, I am other things. I am not just this person. I am not just this person's almost not actually partner. I am other things. And I want to stop thinking about this connection so fucking much because it's literally torturing me, please. So there are some in the collective that have decided to end, like that it's over. There's like, this is the world, it's complete. They're walking away. They're going to choose themselves. They're going to focus on themselves. They're like, I can't do this anymore. It has ruined me. I am not even useful in society anymore. All I am is a person who thinks constantly about this person. That's a general collective. But there are some in the collective who have also just been like, you know what? Peace out. I'm walking away from this connection. Like, I am not about to do this anymore. It is not serving me. I need to be the center of my world. I need to be the center of my world. So there's that happening. The others that haven't chosen to walk away, the niggling thing is this has to end. This constant fixation on having a romantic partner or having this career the way that I want it or having this, etc., etc. This has to end. I can no longer engage in these behaviors anymore. So the first thing on her mind is, I have work to do and I'm not doing it because I'm thinking about this romance that's not happening. So I'm not focusing on my craft. I'm not taking my passions and turning them into something material. I'm not increasing my abundance. I'm not seeing a return on any of my investments because I have been utterly and wholly and completely fixed upon this idea of whether or not I'm going to see this divine masculine ever. The next thing on her mind is the Four of Coins, the Four of Pentacles. So she is needing to really focus on her own foundation. This is what she's thinking. She's like, I need to take my passions and this craft and this thing that I'm trying to create, and I need to really turn it into something that is a solid foundation for myself. And I have to hold back this Ace of Wands energy. I have to hold back this romantic passion I've been focused on, this sexual energy, this union, this fixation on union. I need to stop allowing that to dictate my actions towards myself, towards my divine masculine. I need to have a solid, grounded foundation in my own passions instead of surrendering all of this energy to this divine masculine. And the next thing on her mind is the Fountain, which is this card that's outside of the major arcana in the Fountain Tarot. And it's about the convergence of all things. It's about the oneness. It's kind of like about the internet and how interconnected we are, and how the digital world has sort of blurred these lines between us all. And it's about the source of energy and the source of light and drawing from that source. And it's about the convergence of all those things coming together. So Divine Feminine is feeling that she has to focus on her work. She needs to focus on her work because for as long as she doesn't, she's not going to see this convergence. She's not going to feel it. It's just going to be teasing her because she is a combination of all parts of self, not just the lovers, right? She's not just a twin flame, not even close. First of all, the twin flame isn't about the romance even a little bit. The whole point is that there's a person who you really like and can't stop liking, and it's super annoying, and they trigger you to grow and expand so that you can become this really powerful light worker. And that you actually have fucking shit to do that has way more meaning, that has to do with the oneness of all things, not the oneness of your body parts on the weekends. So she's like, Can you just fuck right off with this shit and stop thinking so much about it? Who cares what divine masculine is doing? You know, okay, well, he's got his addictions he's got to heal. Go do it. I just don't want to fucking think about it anymore. If he's not here, I don't want to fucking think about him. That's how she feels. She's just like, I want to focus on my own work. And she's frustrated not with divine masculine. She's frustrated with herself because she's still cycling through these behaviors. And she's like, it needs to be over. He isn't the center of my world. I'm the center of my world. He's the center of his world. Our worlds are cool. We mix our worlds together. It's got nothing to do with like, he becomes the center of my world and then I lose myself completely. No. You are part of the source. There is a convergence here and you don't need to concern yourself about it, she's thinking to herself. You need to call upon this strength that has been really, really prominent in the readings. You need to call upon this strength and you need to be able to control this pride and this ego and trust, first of all, in the strength of the connection because it is about oneness and it is about the divine wanting you to be able to show others how to achieve that here, that balance here on the earth. So this is an important job and she's pretty sure that the divine is going to make sure that it's taken care of. So why is she even worried about it? Number one, there's an eternal connection here. That's the foundation for everything. So she just needs to she just feels like she needs to be really strong. She needs to be really strong. She needs to not be so attached to what her physical, like material world is looking like and concentrate instead on how all of these things are converging to bring about this desire that she has, her heart's desire, which isn't just to have sexy times. It's to come into oneness and balance. And we see the 10 of Cups with some overthinking, clarifying the Ace of Cups. So the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Wands. The 10 of Cups and the Ace of Wands, both in reverse, clarified by the 5 of Pentacles. So Divine Feminine is thinking her desire for her spiritual fulfillment. What is she thinking? Well, she's trying to hold back her desire. She's trying to hold back this desire to be focused completely on this lover's energy. She's trying not to think that lover's energy is what her spiritual fulfillment is, because she understands that as long as she believes that, she's leaving herself out in the cold. I also think she feels like she has to remain in this cold. She has to remain just not concerned, honestly, with what Divine Masculine is doing. She's on the outside looking in. And at this time, she's realizing, you know what? I guess it's just got to stay that way, because until I stop obsessing, right? That devil energy Divine Masculine had over there, until I stop obsessing over this lover's energy, which is making me feel lack, I'm going to be stuck here. I need to focus instead on my own spiritual fulfillment, which I was doing yesterday. So I'm surprised you woke up and felt this way today. But hey, every day is different. That's why we do Tune In Tarot every single day. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? I just see you there. Okay. Now we have the top of the deck, heart space for Divine Feminine, the 6 of Cups, the reunion, innocence, nostalgia, reflection upon the past. Guess what? This is what she's fucking thinking about constantly. This is why she's chafing at this lover's energy. This is why some in the collective are like, you know what? Fuck it. This is over. I'm done. I'm walking away. Some of them are like, I can't stand this anymore. All I think about all day long is this reunion, coming together, seeing him again, being able to. Why do I want the past? Why don't I want something different? Why don't I want something new? She's wondering. But she feels so immersed in all the bliss of the memories. And she's realizing that she made future memories. I was talking about this concept yesterday with my friend. Years ago, I asked my, I don't know what you call it, my disembodied, consciousness version of my Divine Masculine, what are you? And he told me, I'm a future memory. And I remember that being kind of a brain fuck at the time, but then now realizing that that was completely true. But she feels that she's been living in these future memories of an experience that it's not actually physically happening. It's just been one that's been happening in her emotions, etc. The niggling feeling in her heart space is curiosity. So she is willing to pick up this sword. This is the Page of Swords energy. She's willing to pick up this sword and wield it, even though she's not sure how. She's curious. This curiosity is what keeps her hooked in this lover's loop. The curiosity for this reunion is what keeps her mulling over it over and over and over and over and over. And she's starting to have this realization, which is kind of coming in as a tower moment for her, that when she does have this reunion, she's going to feel exactly like she does right now. She's not going to feel any different. One of the things we do is we convince ourselves that if we just have the thing we want, we're going to feel better. But we're not. We're going to feel, it's going to be fun and exciting for a few hours to a few days. But eventually, once the newness wears off, and it's depressingly soon, the same feeling she had before he came is going to return. So if my feeling right now is he doesn't communicate with me, which doesn't feel good. I don't get to see him, which doesn't feel good. And I feel like he's not really asking me what I want or how to go about things or what I'm comfortable with. So I'm feeling pretty controlled. And I also don't know for sure if he's going to follow through. Every one of those things will still be true. There will be some things that will be a bit healed. Like, for instance, if you didn't trust that he would appear and he appears, then you healed the wound about him appearing. Now he's here. But the communication, the expression, which you need as an external validation of his love, you're still going to need external validation of his love until you feel secure about it yourself, which means you're not secure about your own love. Feeling like he's sort of, the moving the pieces on the board, like this chess master or whatever. That's what it's going to feel like, the first time you start to sense that, wait a minute, I'm doing something that he has created without asking me if that's okay, because I'm still not quite healed in regards to this having an over-nurturing parental figure who is thinking that I'm incapable of doing things myself and wants to do them better, right? I got to heal that wound. I have to heal that wound. And I'm not doing that. I'm not completely doing all that work that I need to do to heal the wound. This Tower card in the heart space from the Field Tarot is one where we don't see the stress normally associated with this card. We see a solid tower that is actually not crumbling. It's not falling when it's lightning struck like this. And so Divine Feminine's got a feeling that this initiation of rebuilding the tower that she's put in Divine Masculine's court, right? Like he needs to initiate. It's actually on her. And it doesn't mean that she has to do anything to attract this Divine Masculine. He's doing his healing of addiction. We don't want to attract him right now until he's feeling that he can live in the space of healing and being with Divine Feminine at the same time, or be healed, whatever works best for him. But he's got to do his thing. So it's not about initiating contact and rebuilding this tower with Divine Masculine. This is about rebuilding the tower for yourself, which starts with this real world material manifestation of whatever your passions are. And being very honest with yourself that you are uncomfortable and that is what's keeping you from working on what you want to work on. You are simply uncomfortable facing the reality that when you wake up the day after your Divine Masculine energy comes in, or you got that job promotion, or you got that big item you're trying to get, or you got that sum of money you needed, or whatever, that you're going to be in the same energy that you were the day before in regards to most things, and that you're still going to be working on the same things until you have fully processed and healed them, which you will never entirely do. You will always have these little conflicts with self, because otherwise your life will be really boring. Really boring. Look it, we got the 10 of Cups yesterday upright and the 10 of Cups in the headspace yesterday upright, and today they're both in reverse. What happened? What happened? Well, you're clinging. If you're thinking about this lover relationship, the lovers over and 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 over, it's because you want it so badly. So your heart is telling you you're blocking your spiritual fulfillment, my love, my love, my love, by clinging to material fulfillment of it. You want a material manifestation. You want proof. You want external validation of something you already feel and know. And here's the standstill. Two of Swords. Two choices. On the one side, spiritual fulfillment, which comes from building your foundation on your own and releasing an attachment to the choice on the other side. Knight of Wands. What's funny is Divine Feminine doesn't want to make this choice. She doesn't want to choose between her spiritual fulfillment and this Knight of Wands because she's attached to this person. This Knight of Wands is a specific person. She's attached to him. She doesn't want to let it go. She doesn't want to make the decision because she knows that if she chooses what she knows she should choose, she's going to lose him. That's what she thinks, right? If I choose my spiritual fulfillment, I choose leaving myself outside in the cold. I choose the Five of Pentacles in terms of this divine masculine, because my spiritual fulfillment is taking me away from a divine masculine energy that acts like a Knight of Wands instead of a king. And my divine masculine is fully aware that he has heartbreak, third-party energy, devil energy, ego, codependency, and addiction that he's still healing. And because of that, he's not reciprocating at the same level of divine feminine, which is unfair. Which means his ass is the Knight of Wands. And this is the choice she wants to surrender to the divine and be like, I can't make this choice. I can't choose between my spiritual fulfillment. I want my spiritual fulfillment to be this guy matured into a King of Cups. So you make the choice for me, divine, because I can't do it. I can't choose. I can't let him go. I can't, for some reason, I can't choose myself because I desire him, even though he's being a dick, which that Ace of Wands in reverse is about being a dick. He's totally being a dick. And even though that is the case, like, I don't want to make this choice. Because of the fountain, right? She feels like this Knight of Wands in his light traits, the passion wanting to sweep her off her feet, the behaviors he's gauging, she feels like this is part of this convergence, that this Knight of Wands will turn into a King of Wands. He will take action, but it's all based on this, all of these pieces coming together, all of these things coming into place, all of this oneness, which is really uncomfortable. She has to experience him in this energy, which is really uncomfortable for her, in order for her and for them both to expand. We have her in the Seven of Cups. That decisions she needs to make with the Two Swords. This is the Seven of Cups feeling. Having a lot of opportunities and options, which she knows she does. She knows she is not limited to this Knight of Wands. She's not. She's a goddess. She's completely within her power to be able to manifest any energy that she wants. And the only reason she hasn't manifested another one is because she wants this specific one. So if she can let go, if she can decide to her spiritual fulfillment, this will give her endless options. And she's confused because the strength of the connection that she has with this divine masculine is so powerful. She just feels like she doesn't know how she could possibly really make this choice. So her spiritual fulfillment relies on her having a lot of opportunities and a lot of options. And instead, she's limited herself and refusing to make any decisions. Because Princess of Cups, which is Page of Cups, because of true love, but also because of dreams. Because she's stuck in her fantasies. She's stuck in the illusion, in the future memory, instead of what the reality is. The reality is this. And she doesn't want that. And that's not a good feeling. To know and feel that you are keeping yourself in the cold, that you are creating your own illusion of lack by limiting yourself to this one choice of this person who is really honestly healing and not able to give you what you need. Yikes. Okay, let's go look at the oracles for Divine Masculine. Right now, Divine Masculine, you are in the shadow attributes of the Father energy, which is dictatorial control and abuse of authority. So you have shifted into a controlling energy because of your fears, but also because you just know this role. This is a comfortable role for you, honestly. You're like, well, I'm afraid Divine Feminine is not going to like what she's going to get. So I'm going to control what she can see. I'm going to control what she's going to get. You need to come into the light, which is a talent for creating and supporting life and being a positive guiding light in the tribal unit. You need to come out of the distorted traits of the divine masculine energy. You need to come into the role where you are a positive guiding light, not where you're dictating, but where you're suggesting. And what you're suggesting makes sense and you can be trusted. And people decide to do what you say because you're a wise king, not because you think you can make everything work right if you control it, all the parameters. Saint Padre Pio is here to help you with this healing that you're going through in regards to your addictions, your codependencies, this devil energy. This is a powerful healing energy. You should definitely call on and maybe find a Saint Padre Pio prayer to help you ward off this devil energy, and also Saint Michael the Archangel. You are getting this fertility card, which Divine Feminine got in the reading that for Patreon subscribers that went up last night at midnight for today, which is the bi-weekly check-in for March. There'll be another one in 2 weeks. And this card came out for Divine Feminine. And for me, it's a reiteration of this Queen of Pentacles energy, and it's also Empress energy. But you have this fertility right now within yourself to be able to create life and support it. And you just lack this courage. All you need is this courage to be able to bring this divine feminine energy into your life and really allow this fertile time to finally begin and create something and support something really wonderful between the two of you. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So lean on the faith of the universe. That's the one thing I always have to pray for. I always have to pray for faith. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. So lean on this faith. The more attention and intention and energy that you bring to that faith, the more fearless you are. This is what's going to give you courage. Just having faith. Think about how every single morning the sun rises, new life comes into the world, other life ends, passes away, becomes new life again. There's a great mystery here, right? That moon in reverse. There's a beautiful mystery here. It is time to take action. Where are you being called to journey to? You were just told it's time to take action, bro. You're being called to journey to the next phase of your life where you're coming into union. And now I'm freaking out because I'm getting this spider card. And I kept seeing spiders all day yesterday, so I'm interested to see what this totem is going to say. I even saw a picture of my divine masculine with a shirt on with a spider on it. And it struck me. And then I saw all these other spiders. So, all right, this is the protection message of Spider Spirit. And the message overall is make your dreams real. Are you expecting your dreams to weave themselves into reality? Are you stuck in the sticky web of weaving dreams but never following through? The thread of intention isn't enough to make dreams a reality unless you do your part in the weaving. Spider Spirit wants you to know that your plans will remain ephemeral unless you commit to being productive and industrious. For Spirit will not do it all for you. Magic needs to be instigated, so begin to make your dream a reality by taking action today. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Can you release your limiting beliefs? Your dream is worthy of weaving. Today is a day to choose one small step toward your dream. Remember, Spirit is your weaving partner. You just have to be the first one to bring the thread to the loom. Then continue to do your part. Wow. It's a super powerful message for myself, my divine masculine energy. So just do one small thing today towards your dream and let the divine meet you where you're at. All right, divine feminine. You're in the light attributes of the athlete, which is a dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, and a development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. So you are really transcending these physical limits, any of the limiting beliefs you've placed upon yourself. You are really transcending these things. You were like, nah, that's not a thing. That doesn't apply to me. Nah, that doesn't either. Nope, not that either. Not that either. Not that either. You are transcending these limitations. And you're really developing your willpower and your strength of spirit to go after what it is that you desire. You're in the shadow attributes right now of the engineer, which is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. And you need to call in the light, which is ability to give creative energy a practical expression and talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. So my feeling is similar to the Spider Spirit card. You need to give your creative energy practical expression. That Eight of Pentacles was in its reversal for you with the Tower. We had cards about foundation, structural things, building things, creating things, making things, rebuilding things. So you are really needing to call in this light. Give your creative energy that you are just jam-packed with an actual physical, practical expression. And then also keep in mind your talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, because you are good at that. Call in that light in regards to that. You're in the light attributes of the wounded child, which is awakens compassion and desire to serve others, to serve other wounded children, and opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow attributes are blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds and resists moving on through forgiveness. So you are really in the light in this card. You're serving other wounded children. You have compassion for yourself and for others, and you're learning the path of forgiveness of those who had caused you to receive these wounds. And if you're not, you must. Wake up! You're sleeping on the job. Your sleep card is in reverse. This is usually either you need to wake up, which is how I felt, or it means you've not been sleeping well. And if your engineering card is in reverse and you're doing a lot of thinking and trying to like think your way into or out of some kind of a situation, then this is definitely telling you that you do need to rest. You need to let your mind rest. So how this applies to you. If you've been sleeping on the job, wake the fuck up. If you've not been getting enough sleep and you're just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and trying to solve all these problems, rest your head. All right. Your guardian angel is here to support you with faith. Having faith. And divine masculine needs that same support. You need to have faith in yourselves. You need to have faith in each other. One of my shadows that I dredged up yesterday when I was doing my shadow work is that I have a fear that I will be unfaithful because I often quit things, projects for myself. Like I don't stay faithful to them, and other reasons why I have fears about faithfulness, even though I'm a Leo. I'm super, super loyal to my causes and dreams. But I have a fear that from my mother constantly being like, you quit everything, which, you know what? You're allowed to quit things that don't interest you anymore. It's totally fine. Parental unit screaming at an 11-year-old child who doesn't want to tap dance anymore because the costumes are embarrassingly tight on her fat body, and not really having any kind of communication about that, but just being told you're a shitty quitter, like because you quit something that was traumatic for you. Instead of having a parent that advocates and goes to the dance department and is like, why the fuck don't we have larger costumes? Let's make that happen because she can clearly dance. She just can't wear your fucking clothes, right? So it's just one of those things, like being told that you quit makes me feel like I don't have enough faith in myself to keep doing something that I commit to, right? So that's just an old wound that came from my mom. And what she was yelling at me for quitting had nothing to do with my faithfulness to my desire. It had to do with my fear and anxiety in regards to how my body started to be perceived differently by other people, even though I felt fine, right? Interesting. So those kind of beliefs that came from this thing happening in my childhood, now this makes me question my ability to be committed in relationships. It doesn't even have anything to do with that. So it's like working on your beliefs and having faith in yourself and having faith in the divine. Empowerment. You are in a place where understanding that you're being focused on someone else is blocking your full realization of self. You want to be fully empowered, right? I am the loving energy of the universe is out again. You are the loving energy of the universe. If you are the loving energy of the universe, why are you focused so much on someone else coming in and doing it for you? Do it for yourself. I promise you, you will get what you desire if you just love yourself. I promise. Meditate and contemplate came out again with get grounded in reverse. Okay, so here we go. This is one of those things where the universe is like, pop up, pop down. You're doing too much. You're doing too little. You're not doing enough. You need to do less, do more, right? And you're like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know. Am I supposed to, like, am I supposed to think about it? I'm not supposed to think about it. I'm supposed to just, like, I'm supposed to meditate, but I'm supposed to get grounded. Like, what is happening? Right? Here's one of those things. Meditate, contemplate, and get grounded. But through meditation, through being centered, through touching into that fountain energy, into that higher self, right? This immediately connects you to the source, which is why you came here, to experience that. Then it will help you, as you are in this place of meditation, it will help you to be able to be physical, because you are very aware of your physical body when you connect with your spiritual one. So this is very important for you, Divine Feminine. If you are not meditating recently, please do this. It is very important for you. You are about to ground this union, and you need to be grounded and deeply connected yourself. Get out into nature if you can. Absolutely. And then we've got the crumbling. What are you clinging to? Coming up with the Tower. What are you clinging to? What are you clinging to? You're clinging to this guy. Why are you clinging to this guy? This is who is presenting to you right now. You might think like, oh, but he has the potential to be like this. And you're like, yeah, bitch, but this is who he is. He's not a future memory. He's this guy. You know what he does? Let's see, what does he do? He gives you indirect indications that he has intentions, right? There's that cup. He has intentions to love you. But he fucks right off again. So he's like, I intend to love you forever, but not now. I intend to be there for you when you need me for all time, but not now. I think you're just swell, and I really want to be with you. I love you so, so deeply, so much that I want to die, but I can't stick around right now. This is who you're clinging to. You're like, no, I'm clinging to this. I'm clinging to my divine masculine. This is what my divine. He's the king of cups, and he's just like protecting me, and like but he has all this potential, and I'm like, no, you're clinging to this person. This person, you don't see him yet. He's not here. He might look like the version of this person a day from now, a week from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, but his ass doesn't look like this to you right now. So you're not clinging to this. You're clinging to the idea of that. What you're really clinging to is a dick. It's a person who's being a dick to you. And you're like, he doesn't mean it. And you're right, he doesn't. He does it because of his wounds. But do you want it? Do you want to be treated like this by a person with these kinds of wounds that feels like it's okay to treat you like that? Or even if he feels bad about it, it's like, I can't help it. I don't know why I do these things. Go fuck yourself, bro. Go fuck yourself. That's where you got to be. Because for as long as you hold on to this, it's never coming. Because you can't see the one that's there. It sucks, I know. It's like my own tower moment. All right. Release it. Don't cling to him anymore. Don't cling to the story about this iteration. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell your mom. Oh my God, you know what he did today? He did this, this, and this. Don't even tell him when it's good. Oh my God, you know what he did? He did this, this, and this. Just stop talking about the old story. Stop talking about this old ass story. You're very innocent in your delight in it, but it's old. And you keep repeating it. And that's what has to end. Talk about something else. Talk about your projects. Talk about I'm going to get a photo shoot next Saturday. I'll talk to you about that. Talk about the shit that's going on in your world that is not the shit you're trying to manifest. Talk about everything else. Stop clinging to this old story about this person who is being like this. This is also yourself, remember. You're being ineffective. You're being, you're coming in and doing just little things and then not following through. You're not following through. So you need to stop clinging to that behavior too. Final card for you, Dove Spirit, be peace. This is page 21. I'm feeling anxiety because I have to be done at 9:30 and it's 9:37. God damn it. All right, let's see. Protection message for Dove Spirit is, however disturbed the waters around you, however troubled your heart, Dove Spirit is there to remind you that peace without begins within as you reconnect with Spirit through practices that awaken you from spiritual amnesia. Your true nature is a peaceful child of Spirit, but how easily you forget. You're being invited to sit in the cozy, safe nest of Spirit. Soon the waters will become still and you will feel peace again. Be compassionate with yourself at this time, for all of us can forget that peace is always at hand, always there, gifted to us by Spirit. Become the peace you wish to see in the world so you can reduce any suffering, performing acts of kindness and radiating love. Dove Spirit also reminds you that when you see inequity or someone harmed or in need, trust that you have the capacity to bring peace through smiling, sending love, speaking a kind word, and listening with compassionate heart. Do your part to be a peacemaker, nourishing compassion, reminding others of the joy of harmonious coexistence so that they may embrace the dove spirit within themselves too. So be peace, Divine Feminine. In the turmoil of your heart, in the discomfort, don't take this out on Divine Masculine. You don't need to. I know, we just called this iteration a dick, but we're calling his behaviors dickish. And we know his potential, but we're clinging to somebody that isn't at their potential. So that is where we're at. But you need to have compassion because he is doing his healing. He told you, this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that I'm this. And like, I need to be more than that. And I don't know what I'm capable of. And that's all well and good. Everybody has those feelings about themselves. These are your feelings about yourself. So you also need to do your healing and your devil energy and all this. This is all about you both as individuals. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. You are in the shadow attributes of the judge right now. You are offering only destructive criticism. You need to balance justice and compassion and manage the fair distribution of power. Divine Feminine, you have to be more compassionate. Divine Masculine, you need to manage the fair distribution of power now. Because this controlling stuff is not cute. Saint Michael, the Archangel, is here to help you with confidence. And I also think to help you with devil energy for the both of you. Any kind of evil presence that, and when I say evil presence, I mean, I guess I am talking about like demonic energy, but any dark shadow energy that has attached itself to you in your fears and your anxieties and your worries, etc., and just kind of whispers to you, this type of energy fights it right off. It cuts through to the heart of you, which is your higher self. Friendship. You need to have a friendship, both of you. You don't right now. You do not. You are not friends. You're like, oh, we're friends. He's my best friend. She's my best friend. No, there's no friendship here. There is a codependent relationship that you are healing. So you must start with the foundation of a relationship, which is friendship. Just really be mindful and also turn to your friends, the friends around you. Those people will help you through this and they will help bring you all together. There's a 3 of Cups energy there too, that you can soon celebrate this friendship together. I choose love no matter what. No matter what. Which is why if my Divine Masculine came to me today with this information, hey, I still have addiction issues, I'm still cleaning up this third-party energy, I'm still wounded, I know that it's going to keep me from being able to give to you as much as I want to, I'm impatient with myself in regards to this, and I know it's not fair, but I still want to be with you anyway, will you be with me? I would be like, yes, I will. Because I believe that that stuff is going to be healed. I have faith that that is going to be healed. I have faith. Am I clinging to a specific iteration? Yep. Guess he's lucky. Communication is key. Wait, let me just, hey, did you know, divine couple, that you should fucking talk to each other because communication is key? I don't know if you knew that, but if you didn't know that, now you do. Thanks to this psychic reading. Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. There is some past life garbage between the two of you that has like, there's some iteration, there's something that has happened, some incarnation whereby there's like deep rejection wounds in here that aren't even, they don't even make sense for the reality of what is happening. So you are unbound from those old soul patterns. One time I realized that I was bound to a soul pattern in a past life where I was like a monk or something, or like a nun. Like I had this realization that I was a spiritual ascetic of some kind. And like I had made a vow of poverty. You can't, when you make those type of vows, like you carry that energy until you fully release it. So you need to unbind any of these soul patterns that you might have from these past life experiences and know your worth, both of you, divine couple. Not everyone is going to agree with you or share your values, but you can walk with your head held high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of. Be the true you. So y'all are worried about your stink a little bit. You're worried about your individuality. You're worried about the uniqueness that's here. You're worried about a lot of things, about perceptions about what this is going to look like to others. Just know your worth, know your value. Know that those unique things about you that you might be afraid to share with others, those are going to actually be the points of connection between you and the rest of the world. All right, we're going to close with a goddess card. This is to enhance our goddess practice, where we put 2 hands over our hearts. Sometime today, for 15 minutes, repeat the mantra, my heart is the heart of the goddess, picturing any divine feminine energy that you like, including yourself in your full divine feminine power. And you're really just balancing out divine feminine energy against God energy that we have overemphasized. And I use these cards from the Goddess Knowledge deck just to talk about some different goddesses from different cultures and across time. Inanna is the ancient Sumerian mother goddess, both the protector of grain and the queen of heaven. She combines earth and sky. Powerful, self-sufficient, passionate, and many-sided. She's a fertility goddess as well as the source of the earth's wells, springs, and rivers. There's fertility again. Each year, Inanna descends to the underworld to resurrect her consort Dumuzi. At each of the 7 gates, she leaves one of her garments behind until naked she meets her sister Erishkigal, queen of the underworld. Erishkigal kills Inanna and hangs her on a hook until Inanna herself is resurrected and returns to life. Inanna is a representation of the many facets that go into being feminine, as well as a guide into the dark places of psychological and spiritual death and disintegration. Alrighty, I'm so very late, so I must go now. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, share. Click the notifications bell to know when I'm going live, or follow me on Tuned in Tarot at Instagram to see a time-lapse shuffle with the songs that were chosen by today. There were 3 songs today, but I was listening to them, and I usually go back, like I click back through to see what songs there were, but when I did that, it didn't click through what had shuffled. It just like started not shuffling or something. So I only caught the last song's title, and I couldn't remember the title of the other ones, and I just didn't have time to look them up. So there were 2 other songs, but Isabel was the one that played during Divine Feminine's part of the reading. So if you go there today, there's only 1 song. That is why I apologize for that. Last bit of information. Last night at midnight, I released the bi-weekly check-in, which is 3 cards, head and heart, for Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, a reading. And it's got really helpful. I pulled some, just some regular playing cards, like cartomancy, for what we should be doing every day on a daily basis, like little mundane things for the next 2 weeks. So if you want some guidance on that, please click the description box below, head to my Patreon, and subscribe at the $9.99 level, and you'll receive 3 extra readings per month, plus access to music that comes out and all kinds of different things like that. So if you're interested in that, go ahead to my Patreon. There's also a wish list in there of cards if you want to support me by sending me a deck. That's always fun for me and for you, because I change up the imagery here frequently. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and that my coven doesn't kill me for being 20 minutes late. Love you. Take care.